The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Teflon Pan Man. I'm the Teflon Pan Man. Ain't nothing gonna stick on me.
Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to All You Can Eat. It's the podcast about deliciousness. I am your host, Rob Rosenthal, and I am just back from a remarkable place on the other side of the world called Bali. Yeah, and it was amazing. I interviewed a number of people at the resort that I was staying at, the Como Resort in Bali, and I stayed at more than one, and I have so much interview footage, well, it's not really footage, if you will, that we're going to do Bali in two parts. So here I speak with three of the principals of the Como Resort in a place called Canggu in Bali, and I'm going to run it for you. And then I'll be back next week with part two, when I spend even more time and have more conversations with the people from Bali. Enjoy. Okay, this is good. Now I am with Eugene Feklitsov. I think I said that right. And I am coming to you from, as you know, from Bali, Indonesia, on a beautiful, beautiful day. And Eugene, it's a pleasure to have you here with me.
Thank you very much, Robert. It is my pleasure to have you here.
Now, Eugene, let's start off at the very beginning here. I know that you are originally from Moscow, Russia. I know that you have spent some time in Dubai and in the Maldives. And all of these places, including Bali, by the way, are very far and foreign, from certainly from most, the American audience here. What exactly are you doing in Bali?
Well, that's a very good question indeed. Why I'm so far away from the place, which gets to 3 months winter and then 3 months summer and just a little bit of time in between. And as you've noticed, I've been away from that place in mostly destinations which are close to the equator, where the temperature is pretty much 11 months a year, beautiful summer. So yeah, I did indeed. I spent 5 years living in Maldives. I did nearly 5 years in United Arab Emirates, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and now about 2.5 years here in Bali. And all these places are summer all year round. So you may say that I have escaped winter, but on a professional side, yes, I'm working in hospitality industry for close to 20 years, mostly in sales. So currently looking after 3 beautiful Como hotels which are located in Bali.
Okay, so this is good. All right, now let's go, Eugene, let's go to the kind of the beginning, because I want to help people understand kind of where we are in the world, all right? And then we'll talk a little bit about Bali, but where are we actually physically, geographically in the world?
We are very close to Australia, as close that it would take us about 2 hours from here, from Bali, to get to Perth in Australia. We are nearby Singapore, and we're just south of China. From here to America, we're about 24 hours flight, which you can take either via Singapore or via Dubai, one of the Middle Eastern carriers. And in terms of the equatorial line, we're just below the equator. We're in southern hemisphere.
All right, and so we're certainly warm temperature, obviously, with the proximity to the equator. And where are we in the ocean exactly? What ocean are we in right here?
This is Indian Ocean.
Right.
It's interesting that if you would go to, for instance, South Africa, where you see Atlantic Ocean meeting Indian Ocean, from the Cape of Good Hope, you actually can see the difference between these two oceans. Here in Bali, the ocean is calm and beautiful. It doesn't really get too strong, and this place is mostly famous for swimming on one side of the island and for surfing on the other side of an island.
Right, and I can see, because we're looking out on the Indian Ocean right now, I can see that we're on the surfing side. Now, tell people a little bit, Eugene, if you can, about kind of like, well, the history and the culture of Bali. I had said to you before that most of us know Bali in terms of its myth, in terms of its its recognition as kind of a paradise. But help people understand kind of Bali in terms of like its historical development and culture.
It is truly an incredible destination in that sense. If you think about it, Bali is an island, and country-wise, we are in Indonesia. And what is interesting is that for many people, Bali sounds like a country on its own. Well, it isn't. It's an island on its own, but as a country, it is Indonesia. And Indonesia is actually the most populous Muslim country in the world. Whereas Bali as an island is predominantly Hindu. And what is probably most interesting is that the island is so diverse in terms of its nature, and such a beautiful nature have very interesting roots in the habits of the people populated this island, Balinese people. The Balinese people has a very interesting mix of animalism traditions, which are somewhat mixed up and interconnected with Hindu traditions. So when you walk around the island, literally you would not walk for more than 20 minutes without seeing a temple, whether small or big. Any village here in Bali would have a number of temples. It has to have 3 main temples by Hindu, but then every house would have its own small temple. Every major profession would have its own temple. Every bloodline would have its own temple.
Right.
And Balinese are taking it very seriously, not because they have to, but that's because this is part of their life. It's how in America you would, in the morning, if you're in a family, you would take your car and then you would go to school, and then once in a week you would do grocery shopping. Here in Bali, every morning you wake up, you start to create an offering for gods,
Wow.
for the local temples. You go out. This is the way of life. And, for me, what was most exceptional to learn about Bali and the culture of Bali is that the original culture of Bali is growing rice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right now we're sitting on the beach in a resort field, the tourism, the hospitality, that all came recently. But back centuries and centuries, this is a rice-growing culture. And what was that one of the most exciting things I've learned is that to grow rice, you need water. And there is not enough water for every field. So every season, and there are several seasons in a year of growing rice, the local so-called banjars, so you can call it a village council, getting together and decide and agree which village will get water in this season and which village would not.
Oh, wow. Very democratic, I guess.
Right, but then think about it. For thousands of years, they are doing that, and they haven't had a single fight over it.
Interesting.
And when you think about it, what is happening around the world,
Right.
where everybody is fighting for resources.
Constantly.
And this culture, for generations after generations, have these life-making decisions without a single fight.
There's something I noticed, two things, Eugenia. You were right in what you said before, since I am here after that 24-hour, trip, which is what you said, 18 hours on the flight to Singapore, and then another couple and all that. But one of the first things I noticed in my short time here so far is there's something about the people. There's a natural kind of kindness and softness and sweetness about the people. So it doesn't surprise me to hear that they haven't had kind of hostilities where so many other places do. There's something really super lovely about the vibe, if you will, and certainly about the nature of the people. But having now traveled as far as it is I've had, tell the people why it's worth the trip. Like, what is it that makes Bali kind of extraordinary that would make it worth traveling that long to get here?
It's interesting to notice that I will start from the TripAdvisor annual voting for the best destination in the world, which Bali keeps winning year after year.
Wow.
And as you rightfully mentioned in the beginning, Bali is so small you can't actually see it on every map,
right?
Because it's just a small island.
Right.
Yet, what is attracting people here and why it is truly worth to come here? First of all, the variety.
Right.
This is what is so exciting here in Bali. You are looking at the southern beaches, and you've got shopping, you've got surfing, you've got diving, you've got snorkeling. You look at the northern beaches, you've got dolphins, you've got black beaches, white beaches, so it's white sand, grey sand, black sand, and then you've got culture, this incredible culture, all these various temples, small temples, major temples, and these temples are alive.
Right.
So the thing is that, like you're going to any other destination, and then you look at the beautiful temple, and probably it is closed by now, or it's just open and it's more like a museum, whereas here every single temple is active, whether it's small or big. And you go out on the street, and as you mentioned, people are indeed so kind here, because that's part of the nature, that's part of the culture. Just to share with you, for instance, one of the habits which in local villages is very common is for a newborn baby. There is a perception that you should not allow the baby to touch the ground until a certain age. So a newborn baby is going from one member of the family to another member of the family, then to another member of the village. So, say by the age of 3 months, that small baby has been in the hand of half of the village.
Ah, nice.
So you have very strong, extremely strong village connection. So you actually feel that your family is not just your immediate family,
Right.
but the whole village is one big family supporting you in every situation.
Very sweet.
And when you travel here, you actually get to experience all that. And let me put it that way. Whatever it is you're looking for, whether you're looking for spiritual development, whether you're looking for relaxation and getaway, whether you're looking for an active week or a weekend, you can find all of it here. And it is so easy to connect all these dots. Say, for instance, we're right now here on the beach. We can go out and do surfing. Then
Right.
we can go for horse riding. Then
Right.
we can go for ATV riding. Then after that we say, okay, you know what, how about nightlife?
Right.
There are a number of nightclubs here. Literally, if that is your goal, if you're looking for nightlife, it is here. And nightclubs, the variety, the music, you've got it all covered here. Then next day you say, okay, I have had enough. Now I want to detox.
Right.
Here you go.
Here you go. Right.
There are a number of detox centers. The most famous is Ubud. And many people know Ubud because it's been in so many movies and books. And what is interesting is that the original name for Ubud, actually means medicine.
Right.
So while today it is actually known as a cultural center, for centuries before, it was the destination for Balinese to heal.
Right.
Why? Because it is up in the mountains, it's fresh air, you have water springs which are coming from hills which are super pure. Then you have local plants which are used in the medicine.
Yeah, I would say that I what I'm immediately going to respond to is of all the things that you said, what really strikes me is the biodiversity. In other words, when you talk about health and you talk about medicine, what you're describing is kind of like plant-based. So much of what grows out of the ground here feels to me not only diverse and wide spread in its variety, but also just looking at a quick menu or two. There's so much kind of goodness, nutritional goodness, and healthy products that are coming out of the ground in terms of fruits and vegetables. So it leads me basically to the next question that I would ask you is, what do we eat here? What do people, what is Bali known for when it comes to kind of like food and that kind of thing?
What is interesting is that similar to the rest of the world, in Bali you have two options. You have vegan option and you have meat-based option. Bali is most famous on one hand for its babi guling, which is very traditional pork-based dish, but it is also very famous for its plant-based diet. And, once again, going back to the diversity and variety which you will find here in Bali, whether you're vegan, you're more than welcome. And as someone joked the other day about being in US is that all food that person have had was like a 1 month old, just because it takes time to deliver. Of course, not everywhere, but if you're living in a city like in New York, you have limited options sometimes to get really fresh food. Whereas here in Bali, absolutely correct. Everything grows so fast here, literally you can, put like a stick in the ground, and then in a month's time it will be a small tree. And that variety once again adds on to what you can have here. And if your pass is vegan, you're
Right.
more than welcome.
Right. Well, I'm also really commenting on the deliciousness of it all. I mean, I had, I started my day with papaya and pineapple and probably, dragon fruit, and it's just beautiful. And like Bali is kind of known for, having a cuisine that is both delicious but at the same time kind of clean and healthy and fabulous. Although that said, I am looking forward to as much pork product as I can when my time comes for that. Now, let's bring it a little closer to home. You had mentioned Ubud, but here we are in Canggu. Tell people about Canggu.
Thank you very much. With Canggu, let me start from a brief definition of the key areas of Bali.
Sure.
As I mentioned, Bali is so diverse, and where it depends on really what you're looking for. A beach holiday, and you've got famous areas of Nusa Dua, Kuta, Sanur, Jimbaran, and each area has its own small feats. Like for instance, if you're going to a Nusa Dua area, that's east coast of Bali, calm waters, you can easily go and swim in the water. If you're going to Jimbaran, this is one of the most famous fish villages where every morning you have fresh fish coming to the market, and you can compare, like if the seafood is your thing, then Jimbaran is an area for you to go.
Sure.
Beautiful sunsets as well. If you're going to Kuta, Kuta is more like a city. This is an area where you have most shopping centers and shopping malls, as well as the nightclubs. So it's the busiest part of Bali. And then you go further to westwards from the airport and from the Kuta area, and you're getting to Seminyak, which is most famous for its high-profile restaurants and hotels. And then further to westwards, you're coming to Canggu. And Canggu is very interesting. It has been known for quite some time among surfers as one of the paradise for surfers. Here, like, we're sitting in a place and we're looking out into the ocean, and we see 8 surf spots, which are about world-class surf spots, left-handers, right-handers, and really, depending on your skill level, you will find a surf spot here for you within walking distance from where we're sitting. And probably what is most exciting is the consistency of the waves here. Like literally, I'm here for 2.5 years, and I would say I have had like 2 to 3 weeks out of these 2.5 years where the surfing was not good.
Right.
The rest of the time, it is incredibly consistent throughout the day, and this is what truly makes this place unique. Depending on your level, you will find your wave here pretty much any time of the year. And what is interesting is that Canggu has really popped up just in like last 2 to 3 years. I was just recently on the nomadlist.com website looking into the places for co-working outside of...
What's the name of the website again?
It's nomadlist.com.
Right.
And the place for people who are looking to see, okay, if I'm going to work abroad.
Right. Where would I choose to go?
Where would I choose to go?
Is it Nomad List? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Nomadlist? Okay,
Correct.
just checking. Okay.
Correct, that's correct. And Canggu is currently rated as number 1 in the world.
Wow.
And you are here right now in Canggu, and you look out, the temperature is beautiful, very comfortable, it's not too humid, it's
Right.
not dry, not too hot, it's just absolutely perfect. And then once again, you've got surfing, you've got this plant-based food right from the ground, super fresh, and then you have internet here, optic cables connections, Wi-Fi. The accommodation is somewhat cheap, and I know that these people who are listening to us right now and who's been in Canggu for some time, they will smile, and some of them maybe even cry, because it is not as cheap as it was a year ago.
Right, of
with
course,
the
that's what
development.
happens, sure.
Absolutely. But I would say that this place was destined for success because it is the closest place to the international airport. We're about 1 hour away drive from the international airport, where you have that superb surfing. You don't have it any closer to the airport.
Right.
So once again, it was a matter of time. And just 2 years ago, there was much here, frankly. Until today, we're the only international 5-star brand here in this area.
Well,
The closest international 5-star hotel to us would be in Seminyak.
okay.
But this place is under huge development right now. So, someone may say, come while you can.
Right,
because
get here
later
while
on
you
it will
exactly.
change.
That's what I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing is that literally 10 minutes from our hotel by walk, not by drive, just by walk, and you will get to see beautiful rice paddies fields,
Right.
which Bali is so famous for because they are simply stunning.
To look
Well,
at,
it's
yeah.
correct. Sunrise, sunset, they're just stunning. And in terms today, there are already nightclubs in Canggu. There are beach clubs. So it's really depending on once again what you're looking for. If you're looking for yoga and surfing, which is a fantastic combination, then there are numerous yoga centers here, numerous surf schools here, including one of the most professional tropic surf, which we actually have in our hotel.
Nice.
And if you're looking for a little bit of entertainment, we have our own beach club, which is more refined, stylish. But if you want to have a buzz, we have La Brisa Beach Club next to us, which can host about close to 1,000 people at the time.
Wow.
If you want more, there are other beach clubs like Finn's Beach Club, where you can get a crowd of up to 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Right.
So once again, depending on what you're looking for, you will find it here. You will be comfortable here, whether you're looking for relaxation, yoga, surfing, or for nightlife and entertainment.
Well, I'm really excited to be here, and by the way, at the Como in Canggu, and it's beautiful and it's elegant and it's luxurious. So tell people a little bit more about Como. The brand, and in particular what they can find here at this resort.
Oh, with a pleasure. Como as a brand is quite special because it has been born by its founder, Mrs. Ong, Mrs. Christina Ong, who's originally from Singapore, and the brand was born 27 years ago as a response of Mrs. Ong to the fact that she, being a businesswoman traveling around the world, was not able to sustain her healthy lifestyle. And today, that sounds like, okay, that's easy. But think about it. 25, 30 years ago, a healthy lifestyle was not such a thing. And when you travel on business, you're staying in the hotel and there are no facilities. There is no cuisine. There is no food which can help you to sustain your healthy lifestyle. And that was her response, creating her own brand. Como Hotels and Resorts, opening her first hotel that was in London, the Hull King,
Oh, wow.
where you would be able to be comfortable. You would be surrounded by great design. You would have cuisine which would be not just tasty,
Right.
but which would be healthy at
Got
the
it.
same time.
Right.
You know, because sometimes people get it wrong in a way that if the food is healthy, then
Then
it
it's
is
not-
not
then
tasty.
it's not right, exactly.
Correct. And that was Mrs. Ong's response to that. Now, it took years to get it right, but where we are today, 15 hotels around the world, from Australia, the Perth, to 3 hotels in Bali, 2 hotels in Thailand, 2 hotels in Bhutan, 2 hotels in Maldives,
Right.
1 hotel in Italy, in
Right.
Tuscany, 2
Oh,
hotels
wow.
in London, and 1 hotel in Miami, Como
Sweet.
Metropolitan Miami, and 1 hotel in Parrot Key. So it's literally a chain around the world, and any hotel you go,
Mhm.
you would have great design,
Mm-hmm.
you would have healthy and tasty Como cuisine,
Uh-huh.
and you would have what I would say a Como lifestyle. You have gym, you have professional instructors, experts, consultants, and you have Como Shambhala, which is a dedicated wellness brand
Well,
where you have therapies, you have activities,
Mhm.
expert consultants. We do retreats, we do workshops.
right.
But what that means, I would say it that way, that traveling around the world, if you are looking to learn about healthier lifestyle
Mhm.
or maintain your healthy lifestyle, Como is a brilliant answer.
Right.
Because Como gives you that promise
Right.
that with Como you will be able to either learn or maintain. And we do have that fantastic feedback from guests who are coming here, and then you speak with them a week later and they're like, you know what, I learned yoga.
Right.
Great. And what our goal is not for you just to take a week, spend a week with us and then
Right.
do something, but
Right.
also to give you tools
Right.
for a lifelong journey
Right.
in a
Yeah,
healthier
I mean,
lifestyle.
I think that that's a really good way to kind of summarize what it is that we talked about here. It's the kind of vacation that you can take, and you can take home.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's a winning combination. So it's a beautiful place. The people are delightful. The cuisine, and again, I'm early in the trip, so I have a lot more to eat and drink along the way. But what I've seen so far and witnessed so far, experienced, is actually just delicious and fresh and nutritious. And I'm happy to be here, and I really appreciate you taking the time to tell us to tell us what we need to know about it. I'm glad to be here with you, and thank you for hanging out with me and filling me in on what's going on.
Thank you very much, Robert. It was my pleasure.
Very good. Okay, everybody. Now I am hanging out with Dedi Sultan, and we are here in Bali, on the island of Bali in Indonesia. And Dedi is a big-time, chef, cooker man. Dedi, say hello to everybody.
Hi, hello everyone.
Nice, that's a real hello. Now, Dedi, let's start off with this. Where are you from?
I came from Jakarta, Indonesia.
Okay, so you're already from Indonesia, but you have moved from Jakarta to over here in the island of Bali.
Yes.
And what are you doing over here? Why did you come over here?
Just love cooking for everyone and for myself.
So tell people what you do here at the Como Canggu.
Well, in Como Canggu, we basically have a lot of selection of food that we cook in the kitchen.
And you're the guy. I mean, you're the head chef here, no?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, we cooking many things in the kitchen, but mostly we related using Indonesian spice into our cooking. In the Como Eco Beach Club, we are using a lot of technique on grill section, and also we have some pizza oven. Then we also have sambal cuisine that we have it in the menu. And also in the other restaurant, we have a restaurant called Glow that particularly we are cooking sambal cuisine. Basically, it's all about the healthy stuff, raw stuff, fresh juices, a lot of salad selection, healthy, delicious stuff.
All right, let's start at the beginning, though. Okay, so when people come to this part of the world, what's the food of Bali like? What grows here? What do people eat here? What did you eat growing up?
Mostly people come to Bali who like to enjoy the local dishes, and then in my personal opinion, people loves Indonesian spice food, and mostly in Bali we commonly using or people known as a babi guling. We have one of our menu is part of our specialty as well in the Beach Club.
What is it?
It's a pork tacos that we are using into our menu using the babi guling.
Right. So okay. So you're saying how do you say? You're saying barbecue or
barbecue? It's
you barbecue pig, roast pig, right?
Roast pig.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that one of the kind of dishes that you're famous for in this country is the pig.
It is the pig.
And also, in addition to that, tell people what's growing here. I mean, you have an amazing variety of fruits. What did you eat? What did you eat growing up? What's the normal? What do people eat growing up in this part of the world? What is breakfast like? What are you having for lunch? Typical. What's for dinner? What are people eating here?
In the breakfast area, we have a lot of selection, but mostly we have pastry selection that we bake it ourselves, croissant, Danish, muffins, and then what we do in our pastry selection, we are using the healthy ingredients. We use a lot of whole wheat flour instead of using the bleaching flour or white flour.
Sure.
And also we have nasi goreng. Of course, everybody love our nasi goreng.
Which is what exactly? Tell people what that is.
It's fried rice. Then the one that we have it here, we are using organic red rice that came from Jatiluwi. Jatiluwi is part of the place in Bali that grown only organic rice.
Wow. So the meals here are very often kind of composed around rice.
Yes.
You obviously, and I don't mean just here at the resort. I mean in general in this part of the world in Bali, you have rice and rice fields. You have beautiful fruits and roast pig. I mean, these are the three kind of I'm seeing as the major food groups, right?
Yes.
Tell me about like the fruit, because I feel like I had dragon fruit today, and I feel like I've seen snake fruit. Like we don't, like where I come from, in America, a lot of these are unfamiliar. Mangosteen. I mean, you have an unbelievable variety of fruit here, no?
Yeah.
And tell me about them. What is there anything that you can do to kind of describe the different fruits that you have?
I mean, in Indonesia, we have a lot of different tropic fruits,
Right.
and like you said, dragon fruit, salak, or you said the snake fruit. We call it here salak. It's grown everywhere in Bali, especially in Bali. We have especially snake fruit. It's called salak.
Right.
It's sweet and tangy, but different characters, and also the dragon fruit. It's grown mostly in the east of Bali.
Right.
And then the mangosteen. I love mangosteen. Like you said, it's very unique fruits, and we often use it raw or also as a dessert into our sorbet.
Now, so good. I think that gives people. Oh, when you talk about like Indonesian kind of spices and flavoring,
Yeah.
So each culture really kind of has their own like flavor base, I would
Yeah.
call it, right?
Yeah.
So the French are going to have like a mirepoix,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be like onion and celery and carrot, and then
Yeah.
there's going to be, the Italians have their thing, and
Yeah.
the Spanish, and even in like New Orleans, for Cajun type food. What are the key base flavors in Indonesian cooking?
In Indonesia, in basic traditional Indonesian cooking, we have three different type of basic bumbu. It calls bumbu or kind of spice.
Right.
There's white, yellow, and red.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we categorize into red, white, and yellow because of the base of the ingredients.
Okay.
The white itself mainly using shallot, garlic, and candle nut.
What was the third one?
Candle nut. It's kamiri. It's local spice.
Oh wow.
That
What is it most like?
its taste is mostly like macadamia.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about a nut. Okay,
Yeah.
literally a nut.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the white flavor base in this case is coming from garlic and shallot and a kind of nut.
Yeah,
Okay, that's the white one.
that's the white one, and the yellow one is shallot, garlic, and turmeric. It's very easy. Shallot, garlic, and turmeric. That's the base for the yellow one.
Okay, so those are you gave me the shallot and the garlic and the white.
Shallot, garlic, and candlelight is the white,
Okay.
and the yellow one, shallot, garlic, and turmeric.
Okay, now I get it. Okay, so your yellow base
Yellow base
is going to be with the turmeric. Now the turmeric, my sense is, even though the color is kind of intense,
Yeah.
do you think it has a defining kind of taste characteristic? I don't find. Does it have a lot of taste to turmeric?
Yeah, when again, turmeric is taking a big part in Indonesian cuisine,
Sure.
and then also we are using it as a drink.
Right. But does it have a lot of flavor, do you think?
It is.
Oh, it does. Okay, fine.
It is. It's very strong flavor. In Indonesia, it's mostly using it also for jamu. It's kind of drink
Right.
that we
Sure. Because it's
fresh-
very healthy turmeric.
It is very healthy.
We're seeing it all over the place as
Yeah.
kind of like, well, people in where I am will take turmeric powder and put it into their shakes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now we know what the white is and we know what the yellow is. What's in your red blend?
The red blend is shallot, garlic, and chili.
All right, so the one thing we know for sure is that shallot and garlic is showing up in everything that you
Everything.
do. Then it's just a question, okay, what kind of chilies do they grow here? What kind of chilies do you use?
We have a different type of chili here. We have cayenne pepper. We had small red pepper.
Right.
We have long red pepper, and also at this now I just come back from Dubai 5 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen now a lot of farmers now growing different type of chili. Like one of my friend, they grown their own jalapeno,
Right.
and then different type of chili as well. And it's located up in the uphill of Ubud.
Right.
It's in Bedugul area.
Right, and so that one is the red one. Obviously, is your spicy
Yes.
blend.
Yeah.
The yellow one has a real flavor to it, which is what the turmeric is bringing to the party, if
Yes.
you will. And the white one is the most kind of, it's still garlic and shallot, but you're putting a nut in there that's
Yeah.
similar to a macadamia. So there's a richness to it and like a fullness to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you like, what would be the classic dish that you would use with each of those blends? Like if I were going to use the white blend, what would be the protein or the vegetable or whatever? Like what would be the dish that would be the perfect dish to make with the white blend?
The white one we can use for the protein. I used to use the chicken or fish, or even the white one as well. We can use it as the base for the broth or soup.
Okay, got it. Now, when we go to the yellow one, what's the best example of using the yellow spice blend?
In the yellow one is mostly I use it for seafood.
For seafood, and for the red one, you're using that for?
The red one is I use it for mostly for the seafood and also for the meat.
Okay, in which case you're adding the heat to it, really the spice to it, because that's the spiciest of them all.
Yes.
Okay, and speaking of protein, we know that the island has plenty of pork product and
Yes.
pig, right? But we're sitting here in the middle of the Indian Ocean, right?
Yeah.
So what's coming up? What do you cook here that's coming up out of the ocean? What kind of fish and seafood do we have here that's common?
What we have in our restaurant, we love our red snapper, and it's people have a big comment or good comment into our grilled red snapper.
And what kind of when you grill the red snapper, what kind of sauce do you serve it with?
It's the one that we grill it, the one that we are using it in the red snapper. We use less of Indonesian spice, but we adding kind of green pesto. That we are using, but we are using spinach and olive oil and garlic, and then to finish it up, we are using a salad. But the salad itself contains of Indonesian spice to give you freshness of the snapper, and then the sauce we have burnt butter. And adding also some cauliflower and fried capers.
Okay, that's good. Now, even though I just had lunch, you're making me hungry yet once again. Okay, that's good. Oh, I like that. And now, you also, from what I understand, you're big on kind of like the bread and the pastry. You make that kind of stuff?
Yes, I am actually
a pastry chef.
That's a funny question actually. I mean, I grew up in the culinary school.
Okay.
I graduated in the food production management.
Right.
Then start working in the kitchen for 3 months, and then transferred to pastry bakery. And I fell in love in pastry bakery after that, and worked in the pastry for 14 years.
Oh wow.
And start working here at Como with my mentor, Chef Dwayne, when he was my executive chef, and he took me as his executive sous chef, but also in charge in pastry bakery.
Right.
And now start coming back again to the kitchen. So like 70, 30%.
Right.
Pastry bakery and
Right.
kitchen.
Right. I got you. So you do it all. Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, okay. And so I guess finally, when people come here, I think the thing that's impressed me, and again, I'm not even here for a full day. I mean, I literally arrived late last night, so I have not had a ton of food, but I just had a beautiful lunch at your restaurant, which included the kind of what was that roll that I had? It was like avocado and a summer roll. Yes. Yeah, so, by the way, it was perfect, and and the thing that was so perfect about it, because I really wanted to go clean.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing that was so perfect about it was that it didn't even have any rice. It was rolled up as if it was sushi, right? And it didn't have any rice in it, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But it had some carrot, it had some mushroom, it had avocado, and it was really just great. But I think what I'm saying to you is what I was impressed with is that you can have such delightful food here, such delicious food, but you know that you're eating like it's super clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when people come here and you're eating overlooking, incidentally, the Indian Ocean. What are you making? What can people expect to eat here? What are some of the specialties of the house that you make?
Like I said before, in the Beach Club we have very nice grill section,
right?
And then most of the food that we are cooking in the Beach Club is grill items. And then what you just had this lunch is avocado sambal roll, which is also another our specialty. It's all about sambal cuisine. That the sambal cuisine itself, it's part of Como, And then
So wait, so just so that people understand, Chambala cuisine,
Mhm.
right, is related to the hotel. It's the hotel or Okomo's
Yeah.
kind of very special
yeah,
type of cuisine, which I
Yeah.
guess I guess you're going to say is kind of what I described in that it's based on delicious taste, but the food itself is not heavy. It has a vegetable forward kind of orientation to it. Yes.
yes, mostly on the Sambal cuisine we are using a lot of vegetable and raw ingredients.
Right.
And then, like what you add this lunch on the avocado samroll, everything is raw, nothing cooked.
Right. And then what? Oh, I love that. I love that. I just had something delicious that was completely raw. I want you to know that I also had the salad, which was the salad of grilled shrimp, I want to say, some avocado, some what you call pomelo, we call grapefruit. That was quite delicious.
And
And
the
also,
grilled prawn with the mango salad, right?
yeah, exactly right. What's the just because I'm counting I'm counting everything that I put in.
Mhm.
Tell me about the dressing. Did you know the dressing that went on that salad there?
On the mango salad is it's what do you call it? It's some spice on it, vinegar, lemon, chili, a little bit of garlic, lemongrass. So when you have the delightness of the prawn, a bit chili on the marination, and also the mango salad, it's balancing the prawn itself. Fresh mango, star fruit, and then also you say dragon fruit. I think it's a star fruit. I think what you had.
Yeah, maybe so. Hey, Deddy, one more thing before we go. What else? Since I'm here for another day or two, like what's the one thing that I must have that really is most representative of something that you're excited about making and proud of making? What's the one dish that I want to have in the next day or so?
Try our what do you call our meat selection that we have it in house.
Uh-huh.
We doing it dry aged for 45 days.
Wow. What
It's-
kind of where does the meat? Where does the beef come from?
We are using stockyard, and also we are using Tokusen beef, which is locally grown. But the meat, sorry, the cow itself from Japan,
Uh-huh.
but it's hybrid in Indonesia. It's very delicate meat.
Wow, and it's 45-day dry age. So that's
45 days.
one thing that I should have, a
That's-
nice piece of meat.
Yes.
After all this talk about clean food,
Yes.
I have a nice piece of meat, exactly. And what else?
And then also you should come for the breakfast. Have you?
I
come for
had
the
breakfast this morning, and it was delightful. But I went with something kind of very, very typical.
Yeah.
But I saw something on the menu that I'm going to have tomorrow.
Yes.
And it felt to me that it was way more Indonesian. Like it had like red white rice or quinoa or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and different kind of what I felt were more Asian influences. Am
Yes.
I right? What are we
Yes.
talking about here?
We're talking about you said about, I think, nasi goreng.
Yeah.
For the breakfast is red rice nasi goreng.
Which is what's in that besides red rice?
Is a lot of vegetable,
Right.
no meat,
Right.
no seafood. Is only basic bumbu, red bumbu.
Which is the red,
chili.
which is the red chili
With
sauce,
the
right?
red chili sauce,
Right.
and then soya sauce, some crackers, and then extra egg.
Beautiful. Hey, everybody! It's Deddy Sultan, and he is the not only the kind of head executive chef over here at the Como Canggu, but also does all the pastry. And I'll tell you, so far so good, man. It's delicious food. Thanks
you.
for hanging
Thank
out
you
with
so
me,
much.
and appreciate your time and your cooking.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Now I am with Henry Scott. Henry, how are you today?
Doing wonderful.
Well, that's good. You can't do better than that, can you? Now, Henry, tell the people exactly what it is that you do here in Bali.
So I just joined the Como Canggu hotel about 9 months ago as the general manager, so I oversee the entire operation.
Well, that's a big gig, as we like to say, and so you're here in Bali for 9 months.
As of recently, I'd say it's 9 months now that I've been from Miami, Florida to Bali.
And in your 9 months, you've had an opportunity to kind of look around and feel, and you've been to places around the world, which I'm going to ask you about in a second. But what are your impressions of Bali?
Absolutely love it. It has this incredible energy that is unexpected. The people here are very genuine and charming. The food is very tasteful and high quality.
And, it gives you different landscapes as you go around all through Bali. So you have the hills, you have oceans, jungle. So everything that is perfect for a destination trip.
Yeah, I mean, I think that basically is really the key here. It's a destination trip, and of course, because we're on this side of the world, which is to say, the Indian Ocean, most of the visitors here are from obviously this part of the world, whether it's going to be from China or India or Australia, whatever. In your kind of estimation, not to put you on the spot here, but what makes Bali kind of a destination place for those of us that are coming from the other side of the world, from Americas, for example?
Well, I think Bali has been a destination where many tourists have come throughout the years, and I think what I would encourage people to do is to revisit Bali and fall in love with it again as it is completely changed. And with our property here, we're located in Canggu area, which is a name that's not really associated or was not associated with Bali in the past. And Canggu offers more of a hipster, organic, gluten-free cuisine, surfing destination. So a lot more that needs to be re-experienced on this side of the world. There's a lot of shift from the Kuta, the Seminyak, now down to the Canggu area, which makes it even extra special. So the government's also assisting with cleaning up the beaches. We have a strong campaign going on, which is no plastic. So you will not find plastic straws, plastic bags, anything that would litter the beaches that I believe that in the past a few of the tourists were concerned about. So I think you're going to come back to a Bali where it's more clean, more offerings, and the surf continues to be one of the top in the world.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that make. I mean, so Bali has a mystique and always has, so I'm going to say that most Americans probably haven't. I mean, they've heard of it, they just haven't been. And what I noticed here in this part, Canggu, is exactly what you kind of referred to. That you get the sense that this is a part of the Bali which is on the up and coming, and in the middle of kind of a massive, infrastructure build, if you will. So it was fascinating to me to kind of float around because you can actually feel the future being built as we speak right now. Is that your impression?
Absolutely. So, when I got here about 9 months ago, there was these beautiful rice paddies that you would drive past. And then when I took on the role, you came back and then you started seeing the development that took away from the rice paddies, but there's beautiful structures that are being built around it. But yes, I think Canggu is a development that will continue to grow.
And you also mentioned, by the way, surfing. I mean, it's clear to me that it's a big surfing community. You have incredible and consistent waves. The temperature here, somebody said to me the other day, it might have even been you, it's never really cool here. I mean, the temperature is warm and pretty lovely most of the year round from what I can see. But I'm also impressed with the cuisine. Going back to what it is that you said, almost everywhere I go, because it's so fruit and vegetable, forward. You see vegan, you see gluten-free, you see a lot of super healthy food here, which is meaningful to me and anybody that's coming over to this part of the world.
I think that's one of the attractions of me moving here as well, is that I eat a lot cleaner than when I did back home. And you're exposed to it more frequently. Everywhere you go, there are those options there, and I think that it allows the tourists that come in here to decide whether if they want, nasi goreng, or they want something that's a little bit more healthy and clean eating. I've seen myself transitioned in regards to physical body, mind as well. It does help as well, and then the spirit too.
Yeah, I'm with you, by the way. I had a beautiful piece. I met with your chef yesterday, and I had a beautiful piece of what you would call avocado toast this morning. Avocado, of course, is lovely and healthy. The bread that he made was really extraordinary. A little bit of tomato, a little bit of cucumber, a poached egg on the side. I'm feeling like $1,000,000. And the fruit, of course, is outstanding. So all good with that. Tell the people about the Como operation, kind of what its point of distinction is, if you will, Henry.
Well, I think it's the cuisine component of it. You mentioned it. You have the real avocado toast, which is our Como Shambhala dish. And I think that our chefs and Mrs. Ong, who is our founder, they created one of our pillars that it revolves around the cuisine. And it's healthy food with high quality taste,
yeah,
and lots of flavor.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Como you're saying that really applies to Como in general, and you use the Como Shambhala as kind of like the branding, if you will, for a protocol which is about eating healthful, nutritious, but delicious food. And also, being able to take advantage of some of the other more mindfulness type of activities and physical activities that make you feel really good, which makes this a vacation in a sense that, because it takes a while to get here, at least from our side of the world, that you can take home with you. It's a vacation that you can come back from feeling pretty good, no?
Absolutely. I think it's a journey that once you're here, with the Como cuisine, with the wellness component to it, with the community around us, it's a whole package where you come here and you feel rejuvenated and refreshed when you go back home. And it's something that doesn't stop there. So a lot of our dishes are very simple to replicate, and you can do those back home and continue to eat healthy. We have some wonderful yoga instructors, Pilates instructors here on the property too, that can kind of get you interested and encouraging you to continue with the whole wellness forum of it.
Yeah, and you're also situated right here on the ocean with warm temperatures on a sand beach. I am surrounded by green and temples. I've seen so far two big pools on the property, one that's enormous and one that's sitting out there over at the beach club, which is great. Tell the folks specifically about, because there's multiple Como, properties here in Bali. Well, actually describe each of them in a very kind of brief way. What makes them each a little bit different?
Well, let's start off with the Como Shambhala Estate, which is our flagship property. And it's a true holistic retreat where you go in and you're welcomed by practitioners that will create bespoke packages for you, from a Asian medicine to detox cleansing, and also even a fitness program that we do. So a lot of it, depends on what the individuals coming to experience, and we can definitely cater to that. Then you have Como Uma Ubud, which is a romantic property that we have in the middle of the jungle that has a lot of the villas are situated in a privately area where it feels like a Ubud village in itself. All very located near attractions where you can either do the shopping, the arts, or adventures. You can do the rice paddies, you can do biking, you can do cleansing on the temples, and then you can also combine that with Como Umachangu, where I'm located, which is a vibrant beach front property that can give you surfing, can give you the beauty of shopping as well, and the food cleansing, and a state-of-the-art workout facility that we have a lot of practitioners there that can assist you.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the others, but super glad to be here. And I find it, to be the kind of place that you don't really have to leave. Like, I get that if you come to Bali, you're going to want to, kind of look around and see things. What I like about your property here, Henry, is that, if you're coming off a long plane ride, You're happy just hanging out over there, like swinging on the swing and eating good food and being on the ocean and hanging out in the pool. You got a DJ that's spinning some great tunes. So, like for the first 24 hours, we really didn't move around that much, but we were happy here. And the gym, as you said, is fantastic, and you can get yourself a nice, massage, all good. So just finally, Henry, unless you have something that I didn't ask you that you want to add in, tell people how they can find out more about Como, the properties in general, and this one in particular.
Well, we have a beautiful, well-designed website that most of our future guests can look into it. But I wanted to also just communicate that in November we have a wonderful package that we're offering to our guests that I would encourage those individuals to look at right now is the Surf and Wellness. And what that is a package that will combine Como Uma Canggu as well as Como Shambhala Estate, where we have invited Sally Fitzgibbons, who is a pro surfer. She used to be one of the world champions and is on her way to become another one this year as well. And what this package allows you to do is the opportunity to surf with her. It allows you to understand how she prepares mentally, physically for a event. It allows you to realize how she became a pro surfer, very down-to-earth individual. So it allows a connection of if you're learning how to surf or you're an advanced surfer, you can pick up some techniques that she's there to offer. And then once you're done surfing with her here, you can go into Como Shambhala Estate, where she'll kind of go through the whole pre and post of getting prepared for an event, or for yoga, Pilates, fitness, and the wellness component of it, as she does have a cookbook as well that she rolls out. So she is very into nutrition, which is why it was a perfect combination for both properties to be a part of this, where we have the surfing and we also have the nutritional value of it. So if anyone is interested, you can definitely go onto our website and look us up. We'd be glad to welcome you either if it's during this time of year or during the surf retreat that we have programmed. But looking forward to seeing many more of the U.S. or globally that's listening out there to come visit us.
Hey, I love that. Thank you for mentioning that, because I think it's a big idea, just to remind people that we're at a surfing spot that's world class. And we talked about the deliciousness of the food in the program, so that's a really cool program. I suppose November is kind of like, what's it like here in November? Is that's the time? That's one of the great times to be here.
Well, nowadays it seems that Bali has become a year-round destination where the surf continues to be wonderful. As I just experienced what they would consider rainy season, it wasn't really a rainy season. So it's very unpredictable, but I could tell you when I was here, I did take the surfboard out. Not that I'm an advanced surfer, but definitely it allowed me to go out there and catch some waves that I believe is comparable or can complement anyone's whether they be advanced or beginners. So definitely come year-round season.
Well, excellent. So that, my friends, is good to know that if you're into surfing, November is a good time to be here in this program. Bali is stunning. It has a long history of culture and beauty and temples, deliciousness of food, lovely weather. And if you're going to come, you're going to want to look up Como. What is the website?
I think the best way to access our information is by going to comohotels.com, and then you'll see all three Como Bali properties there. But Como Uma Canggu is the property where you can find surfing destination. Right.
So there you go. It's comohotels.com, and then you can see all of them, and then look specifically into the Bali properties. And here we are at Como Canggu, where you can look up some serious surfing. Am I right?
That's correct.
There you go, my friends. He's the boss man here. You've heard it here first. A beautiful place and a special program coming up this November. And thanks for hanging out with me and filling us in on what's what over here in the beautiful Bali, especially this part so far, and Canggu.
My pleasure, and look forward to welcoming all the guests from all over the world.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. That's it for this week, my friends. Come back next week for episode number 57, also from Bali, the forest of Bali in Ubud, really one of the most amazing places that I've ever stayed. See you next week. Remember, life is short, so never waste a meal.
I'm the Teflon Pan Man. I'm the Teflon Pan Man. Ain't nothing gonna stick on